Hello my dear students. Okay, this is video number 2. In the first video we saw about sage Patanjali and an overview of the Yogasutras. Okay, today we are going to do with this page, Ashtanga. In the Western world, yoga is actually known as Ashtanga. Okay, Ashtanga is basically, as we saw, it is in the second chapter, that is the sadhana path. So we saw Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga we see in the second chapter. Most importantly, you have to remember that the first 5 limbs, that is Yama, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam and Pratyahar, are dealt in the second chapter, and the last 3 limbs, that is Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi, is dealt in the third chapter. Okay, as a yoga student you have to remember this Sanskrit name of Ashtanga. I repeat again: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs which is called as Ashtanga. Ashta means 8 and Anga means limb. Okay. Now, why do you follow Ashtanga? We follow Ashtanga to get discriminative knowledge. We understand that matter is different from consciousness. At intellectual level, when we read this self-study books, you know, this when you read all this Moksha Shastra, we realize that, oh, this is matter and this is consciousness. But how do you understand in reality? How can we understand that in reality? Like, I know that this is glass and this is paper, correct? I can see it and I know it now that this is glass and this is paper. In reality, in the same way, theoretical knowledge is different and experiential knowledge is different. So how do you know it in experience? So Patanjali is saying you know it when you do your Ashtanga regularly. Okay, and they are called as limbs and not so much as steps. So Ashta is 8 and Anga is limbs. Okay, so Ashtanga is 8 limbs yoga. The first 5 limbs are called as Bahiranga. Bahiranga means external limbs. Bahi means external and Anga means limbs. So Bahiranga. Okay, let's see the first 5. First one is Yama. Yama means don'ts. The restraints are mentioned in the Yamas. The first one is Ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. So non-violence again at the mental level, at the speech level, at the action level. As I always say, it's easy to do non-violence at the action level. It's easy to do non-violence at the speech level. But it may be very difficult to do non-violence at the mental level. So if I am thinking about a negative feeling about a person, okay, I am thinking of harming that person, then it's at the mind level. I may not speak violently, I may not act violently, but I am thinking violently. So this first step of Ashtanga itself is very, very difficult. Okay, so to be always aware when a violent thought comes, okay, and graft a non-violent thought, that has to be done as a yogi. So under the yamas or the restraint, the first one is ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence. Second is satya. Satya means always be truthful. So what is the don't in that? Don't tell lies. Asteya. Asteya means non-stealing. So don't steal. Don't steal even ideas of others. Okay, so non-stealing. Again, non-stealing at the thought level, at the speech level and at the action level. Then celibacy. Maintain celibacy. Celibacy is basically don't let your senses just take over. Okay, so rein your senses. That is celibacy. And the fifth one is non-hoarding. Okay, so don't hoard more than you require physically, object wise. Also, don't hoard too many thoughts. Let go of the thoughts. So, yamas are restraints. So, it says don't create violence, that is, be non violent, don't tell lies, don't steal, follow celibacy, and don't hoard. Okay, now close your eyes. Let's see the 5 supernormal powers which Patanjali is talking of when he is dealing with the yamas. Close your eyes. Focus on your non-violence. Patanjali says, ahimsa pratishtayam tat sannidho vairatyagaha. When you follow non-violence 24/7, 365 days, when you follow it as austerity, when you follow it for a long period of time, at that time, anybody with a violent motive will not come in your circumference. People will leave violence when they come into your circumference. Ahimsa pratishtayam tat sannidho vairatyagaha. Focus on the non-violence concept in you. How strong is it in you? Now focus on the truth concept. How truthful are you? Satya pratishtayam kriyafal ashrayatvam. Patanjali says, when you follow truthfulness 24/7, 365 days, continuously with love, Satya pratishtayam kriyafal ashrayatam, then whatever you say will come true. Observe your truthful nature. Now focus on the non-stealing nature. You're completely and fully creative. You do not require others' ideas. You do not require to steal. Not even a thought comes to your mind. Asteya pratishtayam sarvaratnopasthanam. When you practice non-stealing 24/7, 365 days with love, continuously for a long period of time, Asteya pratishtayam sarvaratnopasthanam, all the jewels will be accessible to you. People, teachers who are like jewels will be accessible to you. Now focus on your senses. How celibate are you? Are the senses reigning you? Or is the intellect reigning all your senses in? Make your intellect your master of your senses and your mind. Brahmacharya pratishtayam virya labhaha. Here he says, when the senses are completely reined in, you have a lot of vigor. Highest power is accessible to you. And the last but not the least, focus on non-hoarding. Are you holding on to negative thoughts? Are you holding on to thoughts that are just not necessary? Let go. Let go, slowly and steadily let go. Do not hoard things. Do not hoard relations. Do not hoard unnecessary thoughts. Let go. Aparigrahasthairye janma katanta sambodha. When you do not hold, when you practice non-holding, then you are able to know your past and your future. You can clearly see it because there is clarity, there is non-holding. Slowly open your eyes. So these were the 5 supernormal powers that Patanjali has associated with the yamas, the restraints. Okay, so that was the first limb, yamas, the restraints. Okay, the second is niyamas. So yamas are the social concepts, the social aspects. When you stay in a society, how do you behave? Okay, the second is the personal niyamas. So शौच संतोष tapah swadhyay ishwar pranidhanani. That means he says under the niyamas, the do's, Patanjali recommends shaucha, that is cleanliness, cleanliness of thoughts, cleanliness of speech, cleanliness of body. Okay, so shaucha is cleanliness, santosha is contentment. Be content in the now and then strive from whatever you have to become better in the future. But be content with what you have. Be content with the body, mind and intellect that you have got. Understand what it is and then from there strive to do your best. Okay, so contentment is he says gives the best or the superlative happiness. Santoshat anuttama sukha labha, he says. When you're content, you get superlative happiness. But contentment doesn't mean that you become completely lax and you do not do anything. No. Be content with what you have and with what you have then be creative. Okay. So santosh. Santosh means contentment. So first was cleanliness. Second is contentment. Then austerity, self-study and surrender as we saw in Kriya Yoga. Okay, austerity, self-study and surrender, surrender to the higher self. So all these 5 together makes it the second limb. The second limb is the do's. So do cleanliness, do have contentment, carry on doing austerity, carry on doing self-study and surrender whatever that is not in your capacity or that which you cannot help. Sometimes you just can't help there, so that you have to surrender to the higher self. I remember this prayer at this time which we pray, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet, where we pray for everybody. So everybody should be peaceful, everybody should be healthy, there should be absolutely no sorrow and everybody sees good in others. So when you do this, when everybody is this, aren't we going to be really very happy and content? If there is sorrow, are we happy? No. So we also pray saying that everything should be peaceful, everybody should be peaceful, everybody should be healthy and happy. Okay, so this is when everybody is happy, we are also happy. Okay, so first is the don'ts, yamas, then we saw the do's, that is niyamas, and third comes asanas. In asanas, Patanjali mentions 3 sutras. As I say, asana has only 3 sutras out of 195 sutras and we feel always yoga is asanas, that is sad part. But asanas, according to the Yogasutras, Patanjali has given dedicated 3 sutras to asanas where he says Sthira Sukham Asanam. Asana is that pose or the posture where there is steadiness, where you are able to maintain your steadiness and which is comfortable. So comfortable and steadiness. And he says that the effort slowly and steadily to be in that posture should become lesser and lesser and lesser, and your focus should be on infinity. When you do a posture which is completely steady and which is comfortable and your focus is completely on infinity, at that time he says the dualities of life becomes lesser and lesser and lesser. What are the dualities of life? heat, cold, happy now, sad later, heavy, light. Okay, so these dualities, the decisions which we have to make, whether to choose this or whether to choose that. So we are surrounded with dualities. And Patanjali says when you do even asanas, when you focus on infinity, when effort becomes lesser and lesser, when you are more steady and when you are more comfortable in the posture, slowly and steadily, the dualities of life goes off, is what is mentioned in the Yogasutras. He said, Tataha dvandva anabhigataha cha. That means the dualities slowly start fading away. So that is the third limb. Okay, so we finished the don'ts, do's and the posture. That is yamas, niyamas and asana. Then he says about the pranayam. He has dedicated 5 sutras to pranayam, and Patanjali says that once you finish asanas in this manner, the manner which we spoke of, then he says then you proceed towards the pranayam. Pranayam, he says, is tasmin sati shwasa prashwasa kati vichhedah pranayam. After doing asanas, when you focus on lengthening your prana, then that is called as pranayam. You can use the help of your breath to increase the length of your prana. Okay? And he also says that inhalation, exhalation, stoppage all forms a part of pranayam. He says when you do pranayam, then you become eligible to do dharana. That means pranayam actually gets you ready to do dharana. Dharana means concentration. So pranayam helps in focusing of your mind. Okay. So we finished yama, niyam, asana, pranayam, and the fifth limb of the external limb, the fifth one is pratyahar. Pratyahar means drawing in of the senses. Pranayam helps the mind to get focused, and pratyahar means withdrawal of the senses. Remember students, what happens when the mind is no more focusing on the outside world, is in fact now drawn to the internal world. What is the use of the senses? Senses are just lying there and doing nothing. So when the mind is completely withdrawn inside, the senses automatically turn inwards, and that is the fifth limb, which is called as pratyahar. Pratyahar means withdrawal of the senses. Okay, so the first, you require the society, so you tame the society. Then you require your personal hygiene, that is the second one. Then you use your posture, then you use your pranayam, and then slowly what happens, the senses draw inside and mind is focused now to go internal. So the 5 limbs are spoken of in the second chapter. Now we go to the next 3 limbs which is spoken of in the third chapter. So in the third chapter we speak about, first one is in the third chapter, that is the 6th limb, that is dharana. Dharana means concentration. Okay, mind is inside now and you are now ready to concentrate. What do you mean by concentration? When you come from a scattered stage to a gathered stage, that's called as concentration. From the outside, now you are focusing on the inside. Now you have already taken an object of meditation. If you have taken a gross object of meditation, you start becoming one with the gross object of meditation. If you have taken a subtle object of meditation, you start becoming one with the subtle object of meditation, and that is called as concentration. Basically, concentration is where you reduce the number of thoughts to a manageable number of thoughts. Concentration, you're putting a circumference to your thoughts. Okay, that is called as dharana. That is the 6th limb. Okay, then the 7th limb is dhyan. Dhyan means meditation. Tatra pratyay ekatanata dhyanam. When you are thinking continuously about one thought, just occupied with one thought, that is called as dhyana or meditation. So the question will arise that we will be doing one negative meditation. Yes, negative thought can also become a meditation. But remember, when we are stuck with one thought, we meditate and normally we get some solution out of that meditation. Okay. So meditation is when continuously one thought is going on in your mind. So now you are not scattered, you are focused, and not only you are focused, you are now with one thought. Okay, and when that thought is completely about one object of meditation, you become one with that thought, then that thought becomes expansive in the sense that the object of meditation reveal itself in samadhi. So what happens in samadhi? You understand that object in its true essence. It's like that object of meditation is saying, stop. Okay, I will tell you what you want to know about me. So if you're completely focused on one thought of a cow, then the cowhood is completely revealed to you in samadhi. So if you are focusing on a gross object in your concentration stage, then in samadhi you understand about the gross object. If you focus on a subtle object like maybe sound, okay, maybe on touch, maybe on smell. So when you are focusing on subtler object, maybe you're focusing on mind, maybe you're focusing on ego. Okay, so when you're going subtler and subtler, that object of meditation reveals its nature, its true nature in samadhi. Okay, so these are the Ashta Angas, the 8 limbs. Yamas, the don'ts, Niyamas, the do's, Asan, the posture, Pranayam, that deals with the prana, Pratyahar, withdrawal of senses, Dharana, concentration, Dhyan, meditation, and the last one, the 8th one, is Samadhi, where you become one with the object of meditation. Okay, so these are the Ashtang, and as I told earlier, Patanjali said that with Ashtang what you get is discriminative knowledge. You understand what is matter and what is consciousness in true sense, not intellectually, but when you practice you understand it experientially. You experience what is matter and what is consciousness, and you can differentiate. The basic difference is absolutely clear to us. So you know this is matter and this is consciousness. Okay. So with this we have finished the important Ashtanga part of it, and in the next lecture we will see the obstacles and we will try and relate it to the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Stay happy and see you soon.